So our lesson objective for today we will compare two fractions by using the hardly any, around a half, and or almost whole method. So this is another way that we can compare fractions. Before we get into that, let's go over our vocabulary like always. So our first vocabulary word is compare. We've gone over this a couple times, and that means to determine similarities or differences between two or more objects. Okay. All right. Now, let's go over our denominator. Really, really important when we're talking about fractions. So the denominator is the bottom number of a fraction that shows the number of equal parts in one whole. So over here we have 4 equal parts in our whole circle. So that is our denominator. Now, our numerator is the top. Oops, sorry. Let me see. Oh no. There we go. Okay, so our numerator is the top number in a fraction that shows how many parts of the whole there are. So over here we have 3 pieces of our 4 equal parts. So we have 1, 2, 3. So 3 is our numerator, our number on top. All right. Now let's go into greater than. Greater than is the larger amount when compared to another number. So 8 is greater than 4. 8 is larger than 4. Less than. So less than is a smaller amount when compared to another amount. Okay? So 4 is smaller than 8, so 4 is less than 8. Great. Okay, let's get into our actual lesson. Let's go ahead and compare some fractions. So our first fraction that we have here is 5/4. So that means we took our whole and we cut it into 5 pieces because that's what our denominator is telling us. So let's make sure we have that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So our denominator is correct. And then it's saying out of those 5 pieces, I have 4 of them. So to represent that, I'm going to go ahead and color in 4. So let's go ahead and do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now if I look at this fraction, 5/4, I can kind of see, okay, I have almost the whole thing. I almost have this whole, right? If I just had one more piece, I'd have the whole thing. If it was a pie, if I cut it into 5 pieces, I took 4 of them, I took almost the whole pie. So this is actually almost the whole. 4/5 is almost the whole. Okay, now let's go ahead and compare it to our second fraction, which is 1/10. So let's first make sure, okay, do we have the right number of pieces? So our 10 is telling us the number of pieces that I cut my whole into. My denominator is telling me that. So let's make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fantastic. Okay, so I have 10 pieces. Now it's saying that out of those 10 pieces that I cut up, I'm going to go ahead and take one of them. If I cut a pie into 10 pieces, I'm going to go ahead and take one piece of pie. So let's go ahead and shade that in to represent that. Okay, so now looking at this, comparing it to the whole, okay, that is hardly any of it, right? Like I still got a lot of pie left over from only taking 1/10. So that is hardly any. So now looking at my fractions, I can kind of see, okay, so 5/4 is definitely bigger than 1/10, right? Because 5/4 is almost my whole pie, and 1/10 is hardly any of my pie. So if I were to make a comparison statement, it would be 4/5 is greater than or larger than 1/10. And I know that because 5/4 is almost my whole pie and 1/10 is hardly any of it. So that's a way that we can compare. Let's go ahead and do one more for practice. Okay. So the next one that we're going to do is 7/9 and 2/4. So let's go ahead and write that here so that we know how to write this out. So 7/9 and 2/4. So let's do our 7/9 first. Let's make sure I have 9 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I cut my whole into 9 equal pieces, and I want 7 of them. I'm going to take 7 of them. Let's color those in. So I have 1. Oh, no. Why aren't you working? Oh, sorry. My pen stopped. Sorry, guys. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I have 7/9. Now let's go on to our next one. So we have 2/4. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 equal pieces is what my whole is cut into, and I want 2 of them. Let's go ahead and color that in. So I have 1 and 2. Great. So I'm actually going to go ahead and fill this in. I forgot to fill in our boxes. So we know that 7/9, that is almost my whole. That is almost my whole. If I had a pie, that is almost my whole pie. So that's almost whole. So now let's look at 2/4. 2/4, okay, is that hardly any, around a half, or almost whole? That is actually around a half. That actually is 1/2, right? Because we have 1, 2 pieces here, 1, 2 pieces here. So that is half. So that's around a half. So I know that almost the whole thing is about the same, or I'm sorry, is more than around a half. So looking at that, I know that 7/9 is larger, or is greater than 2/4. So that's my comparison statement right there. All right, fantastic. So let's go over what our lesson objective was today. So today we compared two fractions by using the hardly any, around a half, or almost whole method. So this is another way we can compare fractions to see which one's larger and which one's smaller. All right, fantastic. Have a great day. Y'all did great today. Come see me when you're ready for your exit ticket. Bye.